Okay. Sure. Summarize. There's not Hashem the sugya of הגיע הזמן ולא ניסו, שוקדו. And honestly. So we have a statement of Shmuel that says, Rav Yosef brings a statement of Shmuel that says that if 12 months are up, as the Mishnah Daf Zayin says, you give a basula 12 months to prepare herself and the man to prepare, and after 12 months, if they don't get married, she eats mezoinos. She gets mezoinos from him. Question is, which type of mezoinos is it? Does he get a return of Maaseh Yadayim? Normally, by mezoinos after the marriage, there's a return. There's a return.
Could you explain return?
The Gemara says that they don't want the husband to have hatred to his wife, only give him food, no return. So she needs to give him her Maaseh Yadayim, work of her hands. Shumeiva. Yeah, so that's after the Nisuin. The question is the Mezoinus after 12 months, which type of Mezoinus is it? Is it Knas? And even if it's a Knas, is it the Mezoinus of the marriage? And even if it's Mezoinus of the marriage, does it have to the level, the exchange that she has to give Maaseh Yadayim? So the O Sameach, which is printed in the papers, in the end, it brings down Machlokes Rishonim. The Ritvo, if I'm shooting Kubetzes, and the Rosh, the Ritvo says that she gets Maaseh Yadayim, the Rosh says not, brings a Sifri, that's his problem. But that's a preface to understand the Shaila, what kind of mezoinos is obligated to give her after 12 months. Which mezoinos of Knas, mezoinos of Nesuim, and even the mezoinos of Nesuim or Knas, there's a return of Maaseh Yadayim or not. So the Sameach brings down Machlokes Rishonim. Now, but that's what Shmuel says. Shmuel says after 12 months, the Mishnah says, yes, if he didn't get married, you have to give him a zoinos. Well, what happened to 12 months falls on Sunday. So since we found the price, since we found the price, and the price says you don't have to get married, the rabbi said you don't have to get married on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, to give the daughters of Israel honor. I'm saying it's more of an honor, but to make them a nice, to have that B'nois Yisrael, Takonos B'nois Yisrael. They fixed the doors of Israel that when he's Torah and Seudah 3 days. The question is, how you fix them by giving him honor? Or like my father used to say, when he's Torah, he's not going to break it. Gemara says that also in Daftet, that one of the reasons he's believed to say Petach Batuach, even to lose a ksuba because he has a chazaka, and not to have a mafsida. Could be all those svars. So the rabbi said, cannot get married Sunday. So now comes Shmuel and he says, if that Sunday falls on, the 12 months fall on Sunday, so then he doesn't have to give her food. The Mishnah said that 12 months, our rabbi has to give her food, and we can bind the two Mishnayos together. Which two Mishnayos? The Mishnah that says you can get married Wednesday, and not Monday, Tuesday, and not Thursday, Friday, because you need a basting day. But still, Sunday is still empty for that reason. So if I would read the Mishnah of Nun Zayin, and I read the Mishnah of Beis, well, I will come up with the same svar of Shmuel. That Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday are not good days because they're 2 days off from a basting day. Since there are 2 days off from a basing day, he doesn't have to give him he's not to get married, so he doesn't have to give him a Zionis. Oh no. Our Mishnah is totally off. Since our Mishnah is for his benefit, not for her benefit. It's not that Kohen's Moshe Israel. It's him that he shouldn't have, that he shouldn't live with Beisu. So mainly he has to give him a Zionis. Last week we had a doubt. Is that the Svara? Or the Svara is for her benefit? Because she knows the truth, and she not to rely on fakers. So he may it's for her benefit too. But it's the sort that we don't care if it's his benefit, her benefit, no matter what, he has to give him a Zionus. Why? This is the Maram. Maram is printed in the papers. Maram says a new Svara. That she says, hey, I'm all ready. I know the truth. I know I'm on a Basura. It's only in your head and a rabbi said, I know the truth. So since I know the truth, how can you lose me my Mazoinos? She has a taina that basing right now on this specific woman, and not in general, in concepts. Any specific woman can claim, I'm a Basura. It's your head, I know my truth, so give me my Mazoinos. Yeah, Rabbi Yosef Chaim, I don't see it, I just heard your voice. No, I'm talking about getting married on Wednesday. The rabbis that said, 1 second, so we're making a chiluk, we thought to make a chiluk, that buys Sundays for her benefit. And Painas Besuli, it's for his benefit. So for number one, we said we doubt that for the last week or two, we doubt that. Who says her benefit is maybe is his benefit, maybe it's hers, because my name is fake shaker. And we doubted, and we went back and forth to Kedashlim again, others. Now he's saying that even it doesn't matter for him or for her, no matter what, he has to pay him the Zoinus. Even if it's for her. Why? Because I'm ready. I claim I'm a Basura. You prevented it, and you're in the rabbis, but me specifically, I said in general, in how do you call it? In percent, and probability, possibilities. We worry for this, therefore get married or die. That's okay, but not for me. Don't use my takon. I waited 12 months, and it came out not on Wednesday, it came out on Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday, or Friday. Still give me my Messiahs. Yes. She's called what? She's not Easter, she's not married yet. Who says Shem? Yeah, where? Yes. Show me the words. Yes. Which talk about Rashi, which the Buramatri? Ein page, not in Zion. Yeah, which the Buramatri Lochem Mishaloi? Yes. Yes, Ima Koin of Basis where? In Koin of Basis Rocha Koin Machin, Shakoin Machin is a Troma to the Yoli. What's connection? No, it's no such Rashi. A real Koin or the Troma, so that's why he also she's Betruma. That doesn't mean now she has an English. Those no such words. No such Rashi. The first time you brought us out of high is wrong. Not true. It's metaymer is a conscious. You jump from name and you call to the dimion. That's a big jump and it's wrong. Yes, not true. No, it's metaymer too. It's metaymer. Shakoin is a truma. So therefore, also here, good. Yes, quickly, because I don't want to strain this point of what I want to talk about. Yes. Yes. But it didn't say shluchim yet. But it didn't send yet. It didn't send yet. But don't make it. It was sorry. No. Okay. Yes. 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 No, but she's a Vadai. She can claim Vadai. She says, I know myself. What she answers, she says, I'm a Basula. Because the rabbis worry, but that's only general. But you cannot lose a woman that stands firm and says, Vadai Basula, Poli. You shame us. Because the rabbis worry for probabilities. But you cannot lose, that's as a husband. Or for the woman in general. But to lose the woman her rights, she says you cannot, this is the svar of the Maram Milubli. Yes. Obviously. My friend says she's also. What? Yes. Right. No. If she found her not to be Basula, why not? Why not? Vada, yes. Okay. Now let's go back here. So we started with Shmuel. Shmuel is Mechadesh that Tainas Shokdu is for her benefit. And since for her benefit, she doesn't get any mezoinos. Sorry. She gets mezoinos. If the 12 months are up on Sunday, she gets all the mezoinos. Opposite. Said she doesn't. What I said before. Mistake. I would say clearly what I understand. If 12 months up on Sunday, she does not get mezoinos. Why? Because the prevention is for her. That's Shmuel's Chidush. Now we backed off a little bit. What about the Mishnah? If the 12 months are up on Thursday or Friday or Monday or Tuesday, which is 2 days away, comes the Marshon, says in the Mishnah she doesn't get the mezoinos. Why? Because of his benefit. Comes the Maram and says, not true. She says, doesn't matter for me or for her. Even as for me, like we said the other week, doesn't matter. When I'm a Tainas Bori, give me the mezoinos. I claim I'm a Besula. Okay. Comes the Gemara, comes Rav Yosef, and here there's 2 Kedamas in Rav Yosef. One Ikadama, the first Ikadama says that oiness of Takonas Rachom and oiness of Chol Sohi, Personido Shalabishas Vesta. Those 3 cases are similar to the case of Konas Bezdin preventing the oiness. They're the same. This is what Rav Yosef says in the first Kedama. So the question is why? L'choira, a very strong kasha. What's the dinyan between oiness of the Konas Chachomim to oiness of him choiler, her choiler, or nida, not b'shas vesta? Why there's a chiluk? Let's magdir it. What's the magdir? What's the chiluk? Because the 12 months are the words of the rabbis. They wrote the law, and it's a 12 months are up. They mezoinos, right? But they also said that 12 months are up, and you're sick. She's sick. So not she. And she said 12 months are up, and it comes on Sunday. You cannot get married on Sunday. The other wrote the law. So there's none if it came. It's not considered as down came. Mashain came. Let me finish. Mashain came if she's sick, or he's sick, or she's sick, or personida. Those things are not the rabbis. Okay, I cannot blame you. So the time came. There's a chiyuv. You could say you have a p'tur of the chiyuv. You cannot be punished. It's a p'tur of onshim. Okay, but it's not considered the time of the came. So on the first Kedamri, they make a dinyan between Igia Asman on Sunday, time came on Sunday, 12 months off on Sunday, and Shokdu, which is the benefit of her, it's okay. The rabbi said, therefore, don't pay a mezoinos. That's the rabbis. But they wrote the law, they told you 12 months off. Now if it falls on Sunday, that's actually the 12 months out. But if the 12 months are up and he's sick and she's sick or need to learn b'shas vesta, there the time came. She might have exemption. Because of sickness, him or her, need, etc. Onsim. Onsim is exemption of, or maybe even destroys a mice. We'll have to deal with that later on next sugya. Is oines makes that you don't get punished, or ones is uproots the action. Not a mice. Okay, that we'll learn in the next sugya. But it doesn't matter. Either way, it's not saying that the time never came. So what's the thing? Yes, that one is. This is not before us. I'm saying svara. The chorod is a chiluk, and it's a kasha. How come Rav Yosef says misvara de nafshe? Simple. That is equal. I can make a very simple chiluk. This is the kasha of whom? Who asked this question? The Kashua. You guys learned the Kashua? I hope you did. Because today we're going to learn the Kashua. The Kashua asked this question. That's not true. I'll read you the words of the Birkat Shmuel in top of the page 5. Listen kama. Shemedami rusin onsim loines de masnisim. The first Lishna says, all force, sick, he, she, or sick, or neither, it's similar to the oinus of the Mishnah of, as to be the Braisa, or the Mishnah of Yom Aleph, it's included in the Mishnah. Sunday. What? Some of them are on seem of sick, her sick, and she sick. It's a Metzias. Could be also. I don't know. 1 second. I want to read what the Bikashum, not what you say. Listen, relax. I didn't read. Yes, you went to the Bikashum. I want to answer it. Listen. I'm reading in page 5 in the Diaspora Yeshiva papers, 2 lines on the top of the paragraph, on the right side. The Afal Gav. You know what Afal Gav? Afal Gav, it's a question or it's a statement? Oh, what is it? Question. The Afal Gav, and even though he's asking a question in his words, the Afal Gav, you hear about? He's asking the time never came. What is he really asking? The rabbis, they wrote the law. So if they said 12 months, you have to give. And also said 12 months, you cannot do that day Sunday. So the time never came. See, the time came, but you have exemption. What's the thing? Must be, comes with Kashmir and says, Mocha from this. We're going to see what is Mukhar. 1 second, yes. Yes. One second. Not all women, there's 12 months have fallen on Sunday. It's one out of 6 options, 7 options. Okay? That's number 1. Number 2 is, could be the takonos was in 2 different times in history. The Sula on Wednesday is 1 takona. And takona of Shok Dvoris Israel, you see from the Braises around, and see maybe it's later takona. We don't know, it doesn't matter. But they're the ones who wrote the laws. Altogether, that's the law for us. We made it, I never came. Comes, we see the B'Kashmul answer, I'm just representing the question. Now, before we see the answer, there is, the B'Kashmul brings down, there's really in concept 3 options. Okay? And this one we're going to explore today. And I want to explain the Gashmul in depth because you can read it 20 times and really get what he's saying. I hope and I B'ezrat Hashem that I got what he said. I want to explain to you what am I understanding. So he says 3 options. First, we'll explain concept, then we're going to start reading inside. In concept, he says there's 3 options. Hakira. There's in Hakira and concept, there's 3 options. One is 12 months are up. The tiempo. What is tiempo? There's no Spanish guys here, Billy. Only 2 guys. Tiempo. The time obligates you. Time. The time, the 12 months, is the reason of the application. Agos Azman is a contract. When a husband gets engaged, and he says, okay, when are we going to do the wedding? We have to give you 12 months. And she said, I want that 12 months. He said, I want two. Okay, it's a contract. I'm adding him. This is what he says. He says, Igia Azman, the time coming, Agoras Azman is the Siba, is the reason of 12 months. The coming of the time is the reason of the obligation of giving her food. Second possibility. In the second possibility, there's two possibilities. Second possibility is it's a fine. It's a fine. Class, which means 12 months are up, and the husband, the husband preventing. So if the husband preventing, so she gets Mazainois. What happened if the husband not preventing? Is her preventing? Is her saying whatever? Different story. But he has to be, he is the Ma'akev. Him preventing. And now you can jump the word fine. Sabah produces the team, you have to call it Knas. If he prevents, he has to pay Mizrayim. That's second possibility. Third possibility is, and here is a little bit tricky, there's 2 points in that tricky point, that's all Birkat Shmuel. In the third possibility that it's not the tiempo, it's not the time. And it's not the prevention of the husband. Rather, is the preparation of the woman being prepared and ready. She's prepared for the marriage. She's prepared for the marriage. I'm prepared. I'm all prepared. Here, because Shmuel breaks it to 2. There is her preparation for getting married, and he, in 12 months, he has rights to demand marriage. Un momento, let's go back. We said until now 3 possibilities. One is the time, tiempo. Second is the husband prevention. Third is she has to be prepared for marriage. She has to be prepared. Then when she's prepared, she gets the rights of giving food. But here there's another added factor. There's not only she's prepared and she's soiche in tvia of claiming or rights to Mizoilois, but the 12 months are up, he's also soiche in tvias nesuin, demanding marriage. This is what we're going to do today. Our goal today is to go deep in this point and start one connected to the other, one cause the other. What? Going to the chuppah itself, okay, but that's what it means. Tvias nesuin. Tvias nesuin means starting the chuppah. Going to the chuppah, like my brother said, that the husband sends his messengers to take her out. So all we can learn B'ezrat Hashem, one day the whole concept of chuppah. This is when the kids you should learn it. It's not what we think. There's a whole big process for the chuppah. Chuppah means marriage. Is he standing her we know the husband waits for her, and he comes to her and he puts it in the snin and she comes to him, but he's walking her. That's what we do today. In those days, he didn't come to her and put a veil and she comes to him. He sends messengers to her father's house. And they bring him to his house. And then he makes a big party. And only at night, there's the beer. It was a whole process. And has to bring him to his own house. He made a party, and when he owns that house, that's chuppah. That's what we have to make sure the chuppah, the canopy, has to be under his ground. So when he rented a hall, you have to make sure that the owners of the hall owns the property. We always have this problem here. Marat Asaf Cave is that we do weddings outside in the courtyard. It's either to do weddings in this courtyard as the yeshiva's property. There, which property is it? So that was a big argument between us and the government. It was the yeshiva's property or them. For years and years and years. And Lamaise, no matter what, even wasn't our property, but since it's the entrance to our property, we have the rights to do what we want to do there. So we give that rights as the people do chuppah there. But otherwise, it has to be chuppah that was bringing into his domain. It's not the canopy. Canopy has to be his domain. There's a lot of deans that that's what you can do in public domain, etc. People don't know that. We become rabbis, you learn, but today that's in a sector we learn. So that there's a whole world of chuppah. So now we're not talking about chuppah, Rabbi. You have maybe some more aside. Okay, I will stay here. I want to see you. Baruch Hashem, you're very active. I have to see you more. I said, no, sit down, because you're gonna bother the one behind you. And I didn't see you, because this is exactly the camera. I didn't see. So let's go back. So we have rights to go in, since we have houses there. We live there, we have rights. It becomes a chatzer meshutefet. That's exactly the point. Well, chatzer meshutefet would be a problem. Now, what? Who is he, the husband?
So the wife have the right to demand that they come to
Not she show up. He has a right to claim marriage.
she has the same right to negative him if he doesn't come.
She has a right to demand, I want to marry you, must marry me? Good question. Yeah, maybe yes. Yeah, probably yes. I don't see a fine against him. I see what? Because I know, but we don't see in Chazal. 1 second. We don't see in Chazal only something on him that he has to give him a zoynos. But what? I think the translation of her demanding is Mazonos. Yes, that's a translation of her demanding. Yeah, but when she claims Mazonos, she says, okay, now you want to marry me, please give me Mazonos. Or marry me and I'll get Mazonos for marriage. So that's probably what her rights to claim. But it's on its own with the Mazonos. So now let's go back to here. Yes. What? Right, the mission give the Mazonos, right? Right. Very good. Let's go back to us. Very good, Reb Shlomo. I like that. You're right. We had a Mishnah, but Shlichus is a Chion, I remember. We had a whole sugya there. Sheskoyen, whatever, the houses Mukashchin, Sa, we had also, we went to the yeshiva. So the fact of the Mishnah is a Mazonos. That's why it's a Choy. Mazonos is a big factor of women being married. That's a big right. So maybe that's the answer why we don't find that the Gemara says or the Mishnah says that why only he has rights to claim his suim. What about her rights against? Because the suim means by her mazonos, he's taking care of her. That's the essence of her tefillah. So I think that's a svoras ador. Okay, let's go back to us. Why is not equal? What feminine? We feministing? We don't have women's rights? No, that's good for her rights. It's the mazonos. That's the essence of marriage. Okay, this is something we have to deal with. Somebody asked me on Tosfos, why Tosfos says that her mazel is not the cause because he loses the mitzvah and she's not, but she's losing the relationship of marriage, cohabitation, mesoinos, sheves. Why is that a factor there? So I answered it because that's a result. It's a result of the mitzvah. So email is not a fact, it's not the reason. Okay. But now I see what says in essence. So even though the kasha becomes bigger, but still the answer is the same. It's a result. That's why it's not a claim. Okay, let's go back to us. So I want to read the Birkas Shmuel inside, and I want to explain Bezrat Hashem, there's 2 points of which is complicated. Understand that Birkas Shmuel, he doesn't shorten words, but you have to explain what exactly it means that there is 2 tviyas and how by her fulfilling his tviyas and suim, she's considered she has a chonon in the suim. How does this work? Now the depths of it. If one not depends on the other, how does it work? And he pushes in. That was the question of Tosfos. So I'm going to read now the Birkas Shmuel inside from the beginning. Are you ready? Because the Birkas Shmuel is in page what? 4. Page 4. Where's my papers here? Oh, 1 second. Siyata Dishmai. Page 4. Comes the Birkas Shmuel. I hope everyone has the Birkas Shmuel Siman Aleph. So we're going to start like this. This is 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 lines on the top of the paragraph. Amud Shalosh, page 3, and Sif Koton Aleph of the Birkas Shmuel. Page 3, on the right side we have the Birkas Shmuel. You go 9 lines down. Vina Arash Bosal. Vina Rashba Zal Bechidusho, which is today Ramban. We found out that this manuscript belongs to the Ramban. Vina Rashba Bechidusho of Kosav. The Rashba in his Chidushim wrote, Sheiksha Talmidim, the students asked, Amailo Nitle Mazolo Dito Bemazolo Dido. The Gemara says, if she's sick, so he says, I'm all prepared, so I have to give him Zoinos. Oh no, it's his mazel that caused her to be sick. Wait a second. But even when he's sick, let us say that her mazel caused him to be sick. Why? And surely when she's sick, why her mazel is not a role? First of all, the question is double. Why mazel is not a role, and why not a leading role? Leading, which means, okay, I can say two options. I can say a mazel exists, but he overcomes. Like a mazel exists and she overcomes. The question is built on two things. Why a mazel, why don't we depend the stories her mazel? If it happens on her body, so it could be him and her, it could be both, but it's in her body, it's her at least definitely a mazel's involved. Not only that, it could be a leading mazel. Even when he's sick, she's the cause. Because if he's sick, hey, she's sick. She's not going to have Yatoya competition, ksus, mezoinos. For her, marriage means a lot. Actually, if you ask me, where marriage means more, to the man or to the woman? The man can marry a couple of women, the woman can only one man. I know that. That's the answer of Toysers. 1 second. But if you ask who's mazel greater, when she's sick, definitely is her by her. And even if she's sick, the essence of losing, she loses much more. So if her mazel exists, why we don't depend the mazel of the dog? The question could be when she's sick, could be also in the case when he's sick. Once the Rashba, and he doesn't answer this question. What does he say? He answered this as a question of a nah, young guys. What does nah means? Immature question. Very strong statement. Oh, Rebecca, have come in. Immature question. Why? Mishum. Because the lo yishayach litloy b'mazolah. It's not shaykh depend on her mazel. It's not shaykh. It's not applicable to depend on her mazel. Toyshes asked this question, and they gave answers. Betirtzu, only should the mifked abrievers does of the chiyuv of marriage, only him, not her. Only shum she saw the shalom about so shalom, or I think it's physical. The husband is the active. He's the plower. She's the one that's being plowed. So therefore, he's the plow. He's the owner of the field. He's the owner of her. She doesn't own him. He's the buyer. She's the weakness. Aisha weakness. What? So therefore, he cannot depend on her. She cannot depend on her. This is the beginning point. The beginning point of the Birkat Shmuel is to explain. I need to understand why. Why Toysas made a question from this? The Rashba pushed her away with 2 hands. Why the Rashba, he said, is immature questions, and Toysas held as a mature question and gave an answer. Because of this point, comes the Birkat Shmuel and he says, there's a major machlokes in essence of understanding this akona of 12 months. Major machlokes. So first starting point is, he says, the tzorich lo needs to understand. Miplei ma'osu esai. The main obligation of food when the time comes, yeshlachu is to investigate. The food of 12 months that he eats a giver, which type of obligation is it? It's an obligation of. It's an obligation of a debt, monetary debt, or it's a marriage monetary debt. What's the difference? What's the difference of a monetary debt or a marriage monetary debt? What? Oh, very good, Reb Simcha. The person is married and he has a marriage monetary obligation to give food to the woman. But if the person is not married, only 12 months are up. Simply should be, I don't know, he will say simply, should only have monetary debt. No, he can say no. He can say the rabbi said, get married to her. If we get married to you, we obligated you. Which type of, with is rabbinic? One second, that's already weave into this question. Yeah, 1 second, very good, Reb Simcha. If it's a knas, so you can say, knas, maybe it's just a debt. If it's not a knas, the rabbi said the law of marriage starts now. So it's more issues. We can say not so. You can say knas can be, the rabbis find a guy that this type of debt will be very strong debt, like a marriage debt. Not just a monetary normal debt, alma. It's a marriage monetary. What's the difference? He brings a raya, and that will be the nafkamin also. He brings a raya, v'niga there's a borur. What is borur? Clear. There's a borur, the beteras issues. The obligation of money of mezonos after 12 months is a marriage monetary obligation. What's this raya? Fine. If you look in the first chapter, not first chapter, beginning of chapter of Perek Hamadi, page 70 in Nedorim, the Gemara asks, the cave and Meshubad lo ech himatzi lo. The Gemara says, Perek Hamadi, sorry, it's Ksubas Dafai, my mistake. Ksubas Dafai. The Porich, since it's Meshubad to her, ech himatzi lo. That's the Gemara's problem. How after 12 months, he has to give her food. What happens if he makes an edit? He says, you're not going to get any benefit from my food, from my money, anything. When the 12 months are up.
Did he make that when they first got engaged?
No, it's a good point. Pashas before the 12 months are up. Pashas. It's a good point. Sameach deals with it. Pashas before. That's one of the Tosis answers there, but Pashas before the 12 months are up. And, good question, and the Gemara has a kasha, how can the neder break away the obligation of mezonos of 12 months? Why? He says, well, it doesn't understand what's the problem. It was just a general debt, monetary debt. We have a rule. Shafi, hala hegdesh. Nicely, hegdesh should break away shibuti. Why? Because the rule. Hegdesh is the same. The hegdesh, chometz v'shichu, mafkim idei shibut. That's the rule. Hegdesh, chometz and shichu. The Gemara says it's a rule. Sanctifying. Freedom. Chometz breaks the shibut. Let's say I owe you money, right? Or I owe you money, and you have a deposit. Sorry. I owe you money and I gave a deposit by you. The deposit is chometz. Comes Pesach and makes that deposit. And boy, and I don't have any other money. That's the only thing I have. So then what? Chometz breaks away the shebut from the mashkoin. Shichu, a slave, if he's free, the master freed the slave, and the one who he owes money to has nowhere to collect because all his slave are gone. He has no money and only a slave. He freed the slave. Shichu, chometz, or sanctity. If I owe somebody money and I sanctify all my assets to Hashem, I do, amigo. You have nowhere to collect. So hegdesh, chometz, and shichu, and koinom and vows is like similar to hegdesh. Should break away the choiv. So Mele comes the big Hashemon and he says, since the Gemara has a question, how can the neder, the hegdesh, cannot break away the 12 months debt of mezonos? That's the most problem. How is it possible? What do you mean it's impossible? If it was a normal death of a choiv, definitely Hegdesh, and then they can break it away. Because Hegdesh, Chometz Hashichum, of Kid, Mishibud, they break away any monetary debt. And if the Gemara says, how could it break? How can it let it break? Must be, it's not a normal monetary debt. The obligation to feed the wife after 12 months is not a monetary debt. It's a marriage debt. Ooh, it's a marriage monetary debt. It's almur. This is for you, Simcha. They took the same marriage debt of marriage and they move it after 12 months. This type of hue you have. It's a strong hue. So therefore, the Gemara has a problem. Gemara has a shaila. How can this English break away? The koinum, which is like English, how can it break it away? Okay. So that's what he says. But the number one statement is clear to him that the food after 12 months, it's not a monetary debt. It's a marriage monetary debt. It's special. It's a marriage issue, relationship. Okay, stronger. Alima. He says, "Ein sham says, look at it. That's one of the answers. Ele the kusha gemori mishum dalmo amur v'yut sham says. Yes, what do you want to say? I can't hear what? Right. We see, brings it out from the Gemara. Since the Gemara has a kasha, that how can a neder break away the chiyuv of mezonus of 12 months? Yes, that's a point. Must be that the chiyuv of mezonus is not a choy down, it's a choy of issues. Okay. So that's a giving. We already decided. Before you say the Sameach in length, back and forth on this. He says it's a knas, or he removes the sraya. He says, like right away, he said maybe every day it's a new chiyuv of mezonos, every day by day. So therefore, I made for tomorrow. I already made the neder before. The neder before, maybe it cannot break it away, or does break away. And then which maybe it's a knas, what's a chiyuv mezonus that you have to give Maisi Odaim. He talks about this Gemara, and but Maisi agrees. Then he agrees to the Bekashmor. But you have to learn and delve the Gemara there is a bucha chayonan. But it seems to be that all that hoinim hold that this is the truth, that the chiyuv mezonus of the 12 months, it's not a monetary obligation. Although even if you say it's a knas, it's a fine. Even say it's a fine, but the fine is marriage monetary obligation. Almu, and it's not, and that's why koinum cannot break it. But now that we decide there's a monetary issues, choiv, now it's a knas, it's the tiempo, it's a time, it's a kova sabal, is a chonel nisuim, tvias nisuim. We're going to learn out today. Now we open. Now we made this foundation. Now we're going to start stalking the machloikes between the two kadamris and the second kadam machloikes toises and Rashi. This is what is called. So let's continue on. What? The Oraisa after the marriage. Here, after 12 months, there's no marriage yet. Fine. Nun zayin. Yeah, 12 months is before marriage. There was engagement. There was 12 months. And now he just needs to keep married, but he didn't. Yes. Oh, there are no 12 months. Okay. Now we can see the last line in the first column. Umeato. Doesn't because we says from now on. Nevoy chiluk, turn the page. Umeato nevoy chiluk, page 5 on the right column. Umeato nevoy chiluk asvorish ben beis alashon. He wants to tell you what's the difference between the two lashonos, and in the second lashon there's a machlokes between the Rashba and Tosfos. Okay, this is what he's going to do today. And I want to explain. There's a lot of points in which need polishing. I'm sure there'll be a lot of fights here. I'm ready for the fight. As my father maybe used to say, when I say a shir, I wear my black belt. He's a joke, you know. He used to say that. Right? Remember that? He used to say. Now we're ready to fight. But I'm saying he said even more than that. He says two things, and I want to add to this for us. Number one is what Rabbi Feisha told me. I don't know if you heard from the Rebbe or others, that in order to learn the Gemara B'Iyun, you have to imagine that you are the person. You're living the case. you're not imagine leaving the case, don't fight. Not at all. You're not learning Iyun. Number two is, right? Al Zalavonoi. Said the Drosha me used to give a life go. So now you're ready. Let's go. This is all preparation for Elul. Hashem is coming up. And the Chofetz Chaim used to say the most shortest Musar Shmuz in Elul. What was the Chofetz Chaim's words in Elul? He had a very short Musar Shmuz. The Yaakov Galinsky said, was all the time, every year, the same Musar Shmuz, few words. What was his words? His words was that in Europe, they had no money, or even they had money, there wasn't any growth of Esroigim. They had to bring from Italy, from Morocco, from far away. Eastern Europe, North Europe. And it was very expensive. So people went and borrowed, and the whole congregation made atramot. They made a fundraising. Well, they had all those ideas to raise money for Esrog. He says, and imagine people spend time and take from the food. The whole Elul's month was for that, because I have to travel 3-4 weeks a month to bring it to the whole Elul. We'll think about this. He says, imagine that learning Torah, every word of Torah is a mitzvah. And in one minute, you can make 200 mitzvahs times 630. There's one mitzvah against one. How much you have to put your energy in Torah. And imagine you put your whole might and heart, being on the mitzvahs. Torah lishma. Let's get it. So be prepared. Lishnekam. First Lashon. Shemedame oines lemas nisin. The first Ikadama of Rabbi Yosef, he says, 12 months are up on Sunday. He doesn't have to give a food because of her benefit. Shokadu. They have a beautiful marriage. 12 months are up. And he's sick. She's sick. She has neither not a normal time. All of them are the same. Oines. The first Ikadama of Yosef. All of them oines. Doesn't have to give a food. What do you mean? The Afagavin, even though the Hochine Mikra Gos Asma. What do you mean? When the 12 months are up on Sunday, the rabbis told you not to get married. The daughter of Israel. So then the time never came. They wrote the law, 12 months. Those are said 12 months are not up. What do you mean the time? They wrote the law. Because 12 months are up is what? It's a rabbinic law. Right? Even a marriage law. So they said, if that marriage falls on Sunday, and the Shakdu cannot do marriage because they want to take care of their wives, etc., etc. So immediately the time never came. So if it's even more, if it's not a choy b'alma. So if it's more than a choy b'alma, it's a choy of issues of a marriage debt, monetary debt. That marriage right there, they said if the marriage cannot be, the debt never started. The marriage debt. Was it no marriage? Why no marriage? Because I'm not Sunday and all these wrote this, so it's finished. I never came. Now she can he be sick or she's sick? It's different. Time came as a p'tur. That was the biggest reason I prove from this. Muchach the Rushoiver, the first economic of Yosef, he holds the Tnai Bezin Zeh Palui Beshem Hakova Sabah. This condition of Beis Din depends on the prevention of the husband. So we remove the first option. We said 3 possibilities. The time, yes. The time, no. He says the time is not the mechayim. The time of 12 months are up is not the cause of the night Bezin, condition of Bezin of Sanhedrin, the mechayim mezoinus. It's not the reason. The night Bezin depends on the name, the shame, the name of prevention of the husband. Like the language, says the time came to get marriage, give a food. The Gemara removes the simplicity of Rabbi Choy. The Gemara is back and forth. Rabbi Choy says, he wants to push at this child, right? What Rabbi Choy said? Turn the page, the base and page. 1 second, I want to relate to this second proof that he can talk. Rabbi Choy says, who solved the doubts? And the base, I'm base. I go back to the Gemara. He brings the Rav Amar. You have to know what Rav Amar said. Igia Asman Lo Nisu. All the Jews do. Lo Nosu Lo Ktomi Lo Nisu. Don't say a fact. The time came. There was no marriage. Give Mazoinos. Rather, the time came and the husband didn't get married, which means it's a prevention for him. And the Gemara says not true. Back and forth now, which means the Birkas Shmuel brings a raya to the first pshat of Rav Yosef. The Kededochile Bagamor LePshit Rav Achoi. The Lashon HaMishnah is a goof of nine basing. Umishumochi came and the Holiness Rachmana Patre and the Choshev Ma'aseh Mecheves Klal. So there's two things we have to explain. Comes the Birkas Shmuel and he says, I'll bring a raya from the Pshit of Rav Achoi in the Dechia. What was the Dechia? The Gemara said, Omar Rashi, Lo Elo Kolun Salochla. The women are preventing. And it should have said Lo Nosu, but Reisha we say Adi de Reisha. But really, that they are the ones that are preventing. So what do we see from the Gemara's Dechia? That the language Igias Lo Nisu is part of the Takonet, the position or not. That's the pivotal point. So therefore, we see that the husband preventing is the reason it's part of the Takonet. It's not a fact. 12 months are up. The time of 12 months, it's there. And if there's no marriage, the time is the obligation. The tiempo, the time is the obligation. No. It's Igias Lo Nisu. And the Gemara's Medaik, here's Lo Nisu. And Rav Ashi says, you're right. Lo Nisu is Lo Nisu they. But says, you're right, it's they, but as of the here back and forth, which means they. Which means that Lo Nisu is part of the Takona from you see from the Pshitus of the here, and Rav Ashi is the Pshitus. So the Lo Nisu is the part of the Tnai Basi. Oh. What? Capish. Yes. Oh, you can say both, very good. Therefore, he says, now I can understand Rav Yosef. The first Rav Yosef makes a dimion between holiness of the Mishnah and onsim of sicknesses and etc. Nida. What's the dimion? My Beis the time never came. Right? Not true. Because time is not the point. The point is not the time. The point is, we see from the Loshon of the Takon of Beis Din, and that was not Loshon of the Mishnah. That was the Loshon of Takon of Beis Din. The Loshon was, the time came and didn't get married. So therefore, the preventing is the takona. Sakova Savah. Okay? So what's the difference if the husband says, what's the difference if Chachomim prevent the husband or Oitzim prevent the husband? The Maisa is the prevention of the husband. If the time is the reason, so Chachomim, the time never came. Mashake and Oitzim, the time came, you have a two of once. But if the time is not the factor, it's a prevention, Akova Sabal. So then, Chachomim prevent me, or Onsi prevent me, but I'm the center. So what's the difference? How I'm prevented? But Chachomim now Rav Yosef says all the same. So what's the second economy? Here we come into Machloikes Rashbon Toys. Guys, now we're ready to dove in to the Ikar Sur. Now we get into the meat.
Otis is the kids, but Otis is the seers that Mamela didn't come to. The question is, you put a lucky status of Otis because of the physical reality, or you're talking about only the physical reality, not the din that they put on it, and to convey what the law is totally in din, not in the seers.
Good.
So when you're
That's an option. That's an option. But we want to know, one second, because Shmuel understood that if the time is the reason, so therefore there's a chiluk between Chomim preventing you, time never came, and onsi. But if it's not the time, it's the prevention of the husband, so he says, no difference if Chomim me'akev me, the husband, or onsi me'akev me. Is Chachomim me'akev me makes me an oinus. And sickness is me'akev me makes me an oinus. Oinus on is one box. Correct? Stop. He says, he explains. The words. I'm reading now. Therefore, since The oinus Rachmana Patri, first, the rabbis exempt you. Ein ze choshuv is not considered. Maise amekevas klal, an action that obligates you at all. What's those words? What do those words mean? If you have an oinus, it's not a maise that obligates you at all. What does that mean? Again, the husband's preventing, that's the maise of obligating mazonos. If the husband prevents, that's a maise of preventing. That's a maise that obligates mazonos. If there's an oinus, so an oinus is not no punishment. It's not only that I don't punish the person. Oinus means the maise of preventing is not a maise. It's not considered a maise that obligates. Mevatel the maise, or noyakas, whatever you want to say, but it destroys the maise back. The shame maise kavas haba. Good. This we're going to deal later on because Shmuel will continue next Simon Tur further. So we throw in what the mice and what the mice. Avalishna pass. Now comes in the Lishna pass. Hold on. What? Yes. Yes.
I cannot with you. It's not a catastrophe. It's a kara.
Yes. Yes. Good. Good. So therefore, I consider myself a very good. According to the, no chiyuv. This is the first economic. Comes the second economic. So comes now in the second economic, he brings a hakira between guys, between the Rashba and Toysis. Listen carefully. So the first part of Rabbi Yosef, in the second Nikadamri, there's no difference. In the second part, there's difference between the Rashba and Toysis. Listen carefully. The second Lashon law that night basing Bo, the condition of basing Cain, to pay Mezoilos, al Mashehi Muchenes Lanesun. That's it. If she's prepared for marriage, prepares for marriage, she's Muchana. You know what Muchana means? Ready? She's ready. That's a better word. When she's ready for marriage, that's the obligation of him giving Mezoilos. So therefore, Mishumochi, Lomeani unse dide, Lechaiva. Therefore, 1 second. Therefore, his oiness doesn't help to obligate her, means to make her lose. Lechaiva means to lose her mezoinos. Though he mezumenes and assume she's all prepared and ready for the marriage. Mishumochi is very good. He says the obligation now. The second shot of Rav Yosef says, you know what is the chiyuv, the tonight basing, the 12 months you have to pay mezoinos? It's built on not the time, not tiempo, and not the husband prevention, rather the woman's. Whistle, right? It's just said it many times. The Lubavitcher Rebbe was by one of his fabriken. He gave all fabriken for maybe 10 hours. 10 hours, and he talked about that the Mashiach will come with whistling. Beshrika, Nani. The Mashiach is a pasuk in Yeshayahu. Beshoreka, beshrika, with a whistling. Yeah, which kind of whistling? The Mashiach, Hashem will bring whistling, but the Mashiach will whistle. I don't know what it means, but he explained the concept of whistling, and I understood something very special. I want to wake up the people. You whistle. Mashiach is coming. This joke. But listen, I'm not joking because that's the way to wake up the guys. I'm joking that I'm making comparison. But the Ikar is like this. The second Ikar holds that the obligation of the Messiah is a 12 months. It's not time. It's not the husband prevention, the power of Kovasabal. Rather, is the woman be prepared for marriage. 1 second. So he says, it's now, right now, he doesn't bring higher, but it fits his theory. If you have different answers, it's a svara. Yes, it's a svara. It's its theory, like a thesis. You have a theory. I have to prove it, and it fits everything in. My father, bless his memory, used to say, and then Chaim Zimmerman, I heard it from him. I actually heard it from my father. I heard it from I was there when he said it. And I asked him myself, actually, how do you know that the Arizal is right? There were many other Mekubolim in his days. There was many Mekubolim in his days. Thousands. There were Moshe Cordovero. There were a lot of other books, other Shittas in Kabbalah. So he said, you know how we know they're right? Because they wrote a complete system that fits everywhere, and that system was checked on Olet Velador for generations. And I added to this, my father agreed to me. There's a Gemara in Baba Basra that says, anyone that judge makes a din emes la'amitoy is like creating the world. And the Mashra has a whole shaila, what does it mean, emes la'amitoy, double emes? So I answered, if it fits everywhere. Same idea. That's emes la'amitoy. So a theory that it fits everywhere, that's enough, is emes. Okay? Yeah, possibility of this emes. Yeah. To bring it in, possibility, you have to weigh it out. Let's go. Good. So now, he says, so according to the second Pshat of Rabbi, he said, the obligation of the Messiah is not tiempo natal, barakor sabal, preparation for marriage. And here comes the Bikashmuni as a trick. This is what he says. This is the famous rabbit of the Bikashmuni. For marriage, she did all her makeup and everything, she's ready. Clothing, she sold all her clothing, she prepared. The Chorah is the Gemara holds us considered prepared because it's nature. Okay. That's what we're going to deal on now. No, she's Chorah now. That's that. He's going to trick him. He's going to answer that too. That's his goal now. If he's sick, he says, simple. He's sick, I'm prepared. Right? So there's a hiluk. If person prevent me, okay, it's Chazal. Prevent me and him. We cannot not prepared. Chazal. But if he's sick, the Gemara says, according to the Ikanamrit, if he's sick, I'm not prepared. Praying, and the Gemara concludes. If he's sick, he has to pray. Intim Tzorayma, as we mentioned, the Rif, Rambam, and the Goyim says, when the Gemara says Tzorayma, the Gemara decides that's a true sign. So, Intim Tzorayma, if he's sick, he has to pay because she's not prepared. I'm a Chon Nesuim, the obligation is a Chon Nesuim, I'm prepared. But what's the problem? When she's sick, the Gemara says, he says, I'm not prepared. The other side is not because of you. He said, what can I have on you? It's not because of you. If the whole obligation of the marriage, of the Messiahs, is preparation for the stream, if she's sick and the sickness in her domain, right here, who's the cause? Who's the cause? Lamai said the sickness in her domain, she's not prepared. She's not prepared. Doesn't make her prepared. Again, listen. We talk about preventing. He's sick. She's sick, and he's the cause. So he's like, he's not preventing because he is the preventing because I'm sick because of him. And we don't talk about causing. Preventing of the husband's a cause can remove the preventing of the husband. The point is, the husband preventing. So he says, she answers back, I'm sick, but you're the cause. So you're the one preventing. That's okay. But the preventing and the time and the tiempo is not the point. It's for being prepared for marriage. So now, and she's sick. So the husband says, I'm not prepared. What's the second side? And you conclude that's a true side. She answers, you are the cause. God says, so what? Cause. Lamani said, since time is in your domain, and in order for you to win for me money, Messiahs, you don't have the fact is the only is in your domain. You don't have the reality of being prepared. So no thinking no action. You're not a Roshah, you're not wicked, all the swallows. I'm not talking about the punishment of preventing. We're talking about you need to be prepared, possibly. They give you, they're good about you, you're sick, it's not your fault. But you don't have the positive. But listen. I don't have the practice the unkis what he's saying. He's all prepared for the next suki of oinsi. What's oinus? What oinus does. It's very important to understand what I'm saying. He's saying, since the reason of the obligation is a choran and swim means active action, being prepared. If she's oinus and the onus comes on her, comes to the says, what do I care? What do I care? It is the cause. Lamaisa, or there's no Bishusa, so therefore there's no active, positive action to be prepared to Mechayim. Let's discuss, that's inside. I mean, read inside. About March and this stuff, the Kav Yosef, this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 lines on the bottom of the right side, right column. When she's sick, he has a doubt. What is doubt? She's higher, maybe the husband needs to pay her, or maybe not. What's the other mean that he needs to pay? That's a maskana. Because she's the cause. Sorry, not an understanding. What kind of claim is that you're doing the cause? Oneness happened in her domain. She couldn't fulfill the condition, be prepared. Maybe the brings, he was almost, her domain came. So good, I don't blame her. If I'm not blaming, we can learn soon in the sugi of Oines Begitin, Oines, you can remove the Maisa, and Oines cannot make a Maisa heal to Mechai. That's a, we saw in the Yerushalmi, those who remember Ksubas before. Again, the only example punishment can remove my responsibility. And Oines cannot make that my responsibility. I need a fulfillment of a responsibility. So there's an obligation. Where's the obligation? Where? Here is the question, not question. It's a mean anything. It's a beautiful deep answer. See how this way, let's see what he said. What? Basically, so it seems to be blamed. It needs to be blamed. So she's not, I'm not prepared. We're going to see. 1 second. Emma says yes. But the same thing as if she's sick, it needs the cause. The answer is yes, but we don't have the answer yet. It's the same cash we're going to have with this thing. The same cash will be if he made her sick, he had some disease, and he has some kind of something against it, and it doesn't bother him, like, oh, to her. And she smells it, and there was corona, and she got sick. This was the cause. But the man said, no action, there's no reality, and my son, the answer. Listen. It burns. They need it. This is 2, 4, 5 lines on the bottom. They need it, guys. Dina Goas Azman Oise Bohim. Yes. He didn't answer the question. Now he's going to answer the question. I didn't answer yet. Right. So where's the active? Good. That was the kasha. So why? How could she say it? He's not kosameyu. What kind of answer is that his master is the cause? She's going to give an answer. This is beautiful. So there's no active. So listen, he answers. He bypasses it. The Shmuel was a tremendous genius. This mamish like an Einstein. What he did. He bypassed. Let's see the siyata d'shmu. Venire, I'm reading 5 lines at the bottom of the right column. Venire, behold, agras azman. When the time comes, oisa-based dwelling does 2 things. Number 1, the husband merits to claim marriage when the time comes. Sorry, not her preparation. Time comes. Now we're jumping. Time comes. We said before, time count is out. Husband prevention, going to the first economic is in. Second economic removes time and removes husband prevention. It's her preparing. Now he says no. And her preparing doesn't sound when she's sick. She didn't act it. He says no. Again, it jumps back that when the time comes, he merits, Soiche. Aleph, Shu Soiche, he merits The tviyah is a claim of marriage. Ace, number two, she is zoicha. She merits not a claim, or maybe a claim. When she's prepared for mezonos, she's prepared to be married, she has rights in the food. This is for you, Rabbi Yosef Chaim. He, 4 months are up, he merits claim of marriage, she claim of food. Why cannot claim marriage? Because that's what marriage means to her. The main thing was marriage. Yes, Collins. Collins, the big one, and he says, we're not finished, just started. If a kind of a force which not always comes in, uncommon force, like Shechionu from time to time. Not always. So she's sick. Matzi almost she can say sharply. Listen to what he says. Those words are very holy words. Matzi almost sharply. She can answer nicely. Adekim tnai gomu. It is an active, positive, fulfilling the condition when she's sick. And he's the cause. Listen why. Listen why. It is that she's all ready for the marriage. Why? Because it's possible for her to say, Ani ashiv lecho bedin. True, I did not fulfill actively my action. But in your rights, from your side, that you are Zoichet first, that's why I can answer that. You hear what he shifted? That's the big secret. He shifted it from the wife being prepared. We said there's two things happening. She has to be prepared, but he merits in the 12 months he merits the claim of marriage. He says, on your claim marriage, I can give an answer, even though I didn't fulfill my condition. A reference to you is considered as a ding of fulfilling it. Even though I don't have an active, a reference to your claim works. That's what he answered. I already told you by heart, but let's get to it. So it's possible to say, I can answer you bedin on your claim. On the claim of marriage, that he merits to the time came in. 4 months are up. He has the rights to claim marriage. She has the right, if she's prepared, she has rights for food. The same. So his claim of marriage, through coming of the time, surely the justice, the law means the justice is with her. Why? True, I didn't do an active action to demand from you, but you didn't do an active action to demand me. Said, she didn't do an active action. Oh, yes, okay. But you're not active. She says, you're right. I'm not prepared active to demand from you. But you cannot demand from me. Why? Truly for sure the justice is with her. Why? He has no ability to demand from her. Then he stopped because you're the cause. He stopped because means you're the cause of my sickness. The husband. Oh, if so, this is the big jump of the big Shmuel. This is like an active fulfilling her condition. Right? The Mali, all I care, if she's fulfilled and she prepared herself and she demands, or she has a dinkium, she has a law fulfillment reference to his claim. So since reference to his claim, because he's the cause, she has a way to remove his claim, it's enough that I'm not prepared. It's considered Avadin, not prepared. So now, instead of having an active physical preparation, I have a dinkium. I have a dinkium because reference to his demand, not to me, I'm not active. But reference to him, he cannot demand me as the cause. So since reference to his demand of marriage, he cannot demand me because he's the cause. So therefore, if it's to him, he fulfilled the condition because king can claim. I take this to him. What's the agree? At least people understood. Now you can ask. Because in order to answer his yes, the suing, he has to be the cause. He has to be the cause. It's a mamash million. Unbelievable. Yes, in order to answer his claim of Tainus Nesurim, of Tainus Zechib and Nesurim, she can answer back, you are the cause. Islam Chassadeh, you are the cause. If you are the cause, so then you have no claim to me. You cannot demand from me, you're the cause. True, I cannot demand because you don't act it, but you cannot demand me, so therefore I have a din kiyum ever so your night. It's a din kiyum for her. What? Says I said here, when the 12 months are up, he has a claim of marriage. Yes. But then if she answers back, you're the cause. So therefore, but if it's her problem, so then he's still Zoyche. It's just, I'm not prepared, it's your problem. But if you're the cause of the problem, you don't have a tvi on me. Simple, that's not complicated, it's simple. That's what we need. We need to start. Because the fact she's honest doesn't remove it's clear because I'm not prepared, it's your problem. If it's your problem, if it's for your claim, you cannot demand me. So he made as a din kill, as if, not an active kill, as a din kill moment that she can claim as honest. It's a big job. What? For him. Because if his fears are suing, he needs to act, he needs to demand from me money. Yes, not money. The demand for me marriage. That if he's the cause, I'm not prepared. He loses his time as the chia of Tvias Asui. What? Doesn't have prepare. But you zoicha now to claim marriage. And if I say you cannot be zoicha to claim marriage for me because you're the cause why I'm not prepared, so you cannot demand the suing. It's at him. Saying, although the oines achmona patre, but doesn't make achmona chayve, but the din kiyum of his tvi and he makes as if din kiyum mitzad her. Therefore, achmona chayve to pay mezoinos. It's mamish a brilliant turn that the Birkas Shmuel did. One second, when I finish. But he says, person neither, if she's now has neither not in a normal cycle, so therefore it's oines, but it's not an oines that he's causing. That's a few of the reason why. Neither it's oinus, but that is caused because of the normal cycle. So therefore, in normal nature thing, not outside nature. So therefore, she cannot live out to the sphere. Well, she's not prepared. Those activities, so therefore she loses the oinus. What? True, but Minela doesn't destroy. Minela doesn't destroy when he's prepared. It's your problem. Good, Minela, but it's your problem. I'm not prepared. Your oinus, okay, you're not to be playing, but still, not to be playing, but you didn't do an active preparation. There's some money. And I got tennis this week. About choices. This shita, about the person nido, the Lord some is not chazot. Akne nas, Romas achmona patre. Shmoch lemikye, because on your holiness, that's not, he's causing. So he can't say, oh, the Torah accept you. But that considered to you an act of preparation. Because, oh, I want to partner, but no chayve. We're going to learn it next surah. Not an active, so it's no active. Listen, there's two more points which will shook the earth here. Omishum shel faces. Man yemalon. Dave mazor Dile mazor koran. Listen to those words. Litlois aiku benesuim amezoinos. What is he saying? Very good. He's saying, listen, Kevin, so deep, you should jump on the bench if you understand what the depths of what he's saying. Unbelievable. He's saying that's why Toises didn't throw out the question of those youngsters. It's a serious question. Why? He's saying, who told you that when the woman is sick, it's the husband is the cause, and therefore she claims that you cannot demand marriage? maybe, listen, maybe her mazel is the effect that she cannot claim as oinus as an active act that she did it prepare. She prepared herself because she's an oinus, but it's not an active act. That's the question. No. You guys understood? I'm not sure if everybody understood. Says that his mazel is the ruler, and therefore she knocks out his demand. He made as a think now, even though she doesn't have an active preparation, because it's oinus that doesn't make removes my obligation, but doesn't make an active that I did it. But because of it's your claim, you are is as a thing as if I was done, that obligate you. He says maybe her mazel is the point. And since her mazel is the cause, I don't depend on her, on him not claiming that he cannot claim. I put it on her that she didn't produce mitzad, her preparation, active preparation. And that will be the fact that her mazel said, really is asking, who told you to make this thing tonight? Kiyum din kiyum. On the husband, to make it on her, maybe her mazel made that she cannot produce an active kiyum, just din kiyum. That's a mazel made her to lose. And the answer is she doesn't have any mazel. His privilegio, his son, etc. But the husband, because when he says, no, that this side of Rabbi Yosef words, like the first possibility that we threw out, that the tiempo, the time is the cause. If the time is the cause, so she said, comes Rashi in the Ramban, Rashbo, in the Rashi, we call Ramban, they say, no, sort of I'm sick. But from now, from this day, I'm on you. The time came on you to give him a zoinus. So give him a zoinus even though I'm sick. Because the time is obligation. Uno momento. We have a problem with that. So why need the Kurban Shulchan says, so why need she cannot say, give me my time came, or some heaven, the time came. So the answer is, the Psimchi answer here, one of the boys says, because neither's nature, the time said the time never came. It's not part of the time. It was nature. Okay. This is it. We're going to do Musoshos. And now, I gave here a new papers. Somebody, I only have one. So somebody's going to take and make copy for everybody else. And the main son and other guys, whatever. I'm going to give out more papers this afternoon or tomorrow or Sunday. The Siyata Dishmai, guys, are very important musashos. Very important musashos. The Siyata Dishmai. Musashos. Siyata Dishmai. Parshas Ki Tovoi has 98 curses of the Shalom and the Jewish people who don't keep the Torah. 98 curses, so many curses. And then it has some brachos. So in the parsha it says, "V'otirchu Hashem b'fri bitnecha." The Ibn Ezra explain what does it mean, "V'otirchu Hashem b'fri bitnecha." Otircha Hashem, Hashem will leave you alone, means will not kill you, b'fri bitnecha. So the Ibn Ezra explains, Hashem will leave you alone alive because the fruit of your stomach. That's what Ibn Ezra says. The Chassam Sofer, he says a very important yesod. We come up to Rosh Hashanah very soon. We don't know how Hashem will judge us. Where are we? What are we doing? Or what was our scale? What's going on here? So the Chassam Sofer says, Hashem will keep you alive if you are needed for your children. So that Hashem will not kill you. Yeah. Now what does it mean? Needed for your children. Comes the Chassam Sofer and he says, the Gemara B'Metzia says that when Rabbi Yochanan he had Chlishus Adas from Rish Lakish, Resh Lakish died. And the sister of Resh Lakish came, the sister of Rabbi Yochanan, the wife of Resh Lakish, the sister of Yochanan came and shouted, why are you angry at my husband? Why are you angry at my husband to kill him? Who's going to be my kids, my little kids? Who's going to feed them? Who's going to take care of them? So he answered the warrior, Hashem, Zon Mefaras Lakoil, Benai Loreiti Zal Vakeshlochem, Hashem will take care of their children. Comes the Chavsav Seder and he says, we're not talking about that the children will save you, spare you from the judgment of Hashem. We're not talking about children that you have to feed them. Hashem will feed them. Hashem's on Famas Lakoil. Hashem's take care of Yesoimim, Almonois, converts, Gerim. Hashem is their father. It doesn't make you to be spared because they need you for dineros, the parnosa. Hashem will spare you if they are needed for your chinuch, your training, teaching Torah. There's a certain chinuch that only the Father can give. The Father, in essence, depending to the bones of the children, only the Father is the one that can give that chinuch to the children. And if your children are needed to you, for that they are needed, Hashem will spare you. Yes? So it's a big lesson, Chassam Sofer says. Talmidim, Chavrusas, all around you. It says in Chazal, when somebody dies, Idagu kol ha-chabura kulo, the whole chabura is to worry. Why the whole chabura? Because Hashem doesn't kill a person unless he measures all the people that have relation with him. Can they bear that pain, or they have rights, or they are sinners to have that pain? To have that pain. You have to think, one of the biggest avoiders before Elul, you have to think, I'm needed in this world or not. Okay, sometimes you're not married yet. You're single, but you're preparing yourself in yeshiva. You're doing mitzvahs. There's an almana, go give her food every day, you help her. There's a woman, she's crippled. There's a guy this. There's some few new boys come to yeshiva, they lost their way. You make care of them, they are needed to you. So if you're needed, your children is not only physical children, also spiritual children are your children. My father, bless his memory, in his last few years of his life, he had an operation. They thought he was going to die. The doctors told me 5% chance he'll stay alive. So I said, why make the operation? He said, if I die 100% dead, 5% of chance of healing. He had a problem with his heart, his kidneys. He had a zium in his stomach. His whole thing became poison, who knows what. They had to make a hole, and they operated him. To the level that when the doctor and I wanted to help him to enter the operation, he said, don't touch me. I said, why, Abba? He says, because I'm a goises. I'm a level of goises. You know what goises means? Flickering before death. You don't have to touch me. He told me, don't touch me. Very scared. I lost him. I said, vidu with him. So my father told me, Sforno. The Sforno says, when he came out of the operation, he was successful. He told me right away the Sforno. And he said it in yeshiva many times, those who remember. He said, the Sforno says, Hashem kept alive Levi 17 years more than all his brothers and sisters, all his brothers and children and sisters. The whole 12 tribes died at 120. Yosef early because of his punishment, whatever the Chazal teaches. But all the rest died at 120. That was the amount of years Hashem wanted to give all the 12 tribes. Levi is the only tribe, the only man that lived 137 years old. His father said, you know why? Because he was needed. He was needed for Klal Yisrael. Why was he Klal Yisrael? Because he was the grandson of Levi. Amo, Moshe Rabbeinu, Aaron HaKohen, Miriam. You have to give them chinuch. So Hashem extended his life 70 more years. So my father basically told me, listen, I'm out of the operation. I don't know right now if Hashem will spare me because of my Talmidim. But I have to make sure that my grandchildren are going the path of the way. He had some couple of grandchildren which are problematic. And he spent hundreds of hours. 5 times more he was in yeshiva. And he was in the hour says before, after that night, all day long, talking to his grandchildren that needed help, that tried to convince them they're going the right path, they're going the right way. And he was zoichet to see they got married probably. And then he died. Hashem gave him another 5 years. He said, and this foreigner, Hashem will spare me because, like Levi, so I have to make sure. Now I Baruch Hashem, he says, all my children on Torah, Ovet and Torah, work hard in Torah, Yerushalayim. Hashem doesn't need me anymore for them. Hashem needs it for my grandchildren. He knew in himself that he's the only one that can change them. That's what he means. They depending on him. If we big they're depending on you, Hashem's paying. So one of the biggest eights is before Rosh Hashanah. The Eitzah. Okay, yourself, oh no, where I'm at. But if people need you, not you for money. You have a hero. You to train your Talmidim, your children, your wife, your kids, your grandchildren. So you have to be aware. Can't just Rosh Hashanah comes, the grandchildren, Grandpa, honey, hey, you give it no. Train them. My father used to be very tough on the grandchildren because he knew that his needs, and they remember till today. 10 years later, remember those actions. We told them, Musa, you want to be a sweet grandfather, right? I give candy, they were like, no. We said to train. He knew that's his goal. He has 5 more years. He knew that Hashem spared him. For his grandchildren, he put all the energy to make sure the grandchildren will go the way of Hashem. One time he took a strap and he beat up to the Pope on his grandchildren. His wife, the mother of the child, screamed, what are you doing? I went crazy. He says, no, I'm changing his essence. If a generation will see a difference, and changed it. Couldn't handle it for a couple of years. There's no, I know him like core. What I need to do. And he took a strap, physical strap. Was a child who was very rebellious. And he told him he never trained him from young for boundaries and such. I don't know the depths of the story, but I know that story happened. That was an extreme. But he knew that was a responsibility. So this is the preparation for Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah is coming. You have to make sure that Hashem will spare you. If it's not for yourself, if a bitnecha for fruits of your stomach, fruits of your labor, your talmidim, or your children, or your children, grandchildren, the people around you, the mekarev, depending on you, so then Hashem will spare us. Bezrat Hashem, shamaksiv echasim otom Hashem. V'chananya v'natras yoim. All the gold for the zaken for the picker. Hier worden teutjes nema. I know how it's a man's spirit to go over your thing. But there you. Skadei shemechavo hey. All what you say, Yanni Papu say. The high going to the call, the kind of all days, so